Welcome to Talking Giants, presented by SeatGeek. I'm your host, Bobby Skinner, here with my co-host, Justin Pennick. We got license plate guy on the show. We're going to talk about Eli Manning and why he better be in the Hall of Fame when we wake up Friday morning. And then just current Giants news and affairs. Justin, we're back home. I'm back in Florida. You're back in New Jersey. How you doing?
I'm doing good. NFL news, Cooper Kupp will be on a new team next year. The Rams told Cooper Kupp that they're seeking a trade partner. Does that mean Matthew Stafford is going to be a Giant? Some are wondering that. No, but good conversation with license plate guy. That just threw me off as we were doing the intro. That's kind of weird. The team let Cooper Kupp know. Good conversation with license plate guy. We're going to find out if Eli Manning's going to be a Hall of Famer in a couple days. So we talked a lot about that. Talked about the dedication to and the commitment to hop on board for another year, and we even talked about quarterbacks for a little bit. We paid the bills. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing wonderful. If Eli Manning's not, but talking through the Eli Manning thing, if he doesn't get in, which I like, LPG's confident, you'll see. I am worried because I just am worried about it. But if he gets in, I'm going to be excited, and we're going to dunk on the haters. If he doesn't, then we're gonna attack anyone who's like, this is actually good. But he will.
I do want to go to Canton. I really want to go to Canton.
Oh, that's like a guarantee. Like, we will go to Canton for Eli Manning's Hall of Fame thing. This year that is going to happen. This year. So it better be this year. But Justin, before we get into this interview with license plate guy, this episode is brought to you by DraftKings. Or actually, no, Justin, who's this episode brought to you by?
Oh, it's brought to you by Factor, baby. Are you ready to optimize your nutrition this year? Factor has chef-made gourmet meals that make eating well easy. They're dietitian approved and ready to heat in 2 minutes, so you can feel right and feel great no matter what life throws at you. And I can say for myself, I love Factor. It's my giant factor. Hello. It's my giant factor all the time, every day, every single week, because I get home like, hey, got home today on a Monday. Bobby and I are recording a podcast at 6:30. It's 7:30 at night. I've been going nonstop all day. I don't want to get out of here and make myself a whole dinner. I could have a gourmet meal that's ready to heat up, put it right on a plate. That's the tease. That's what I tell my brain. I don't associate the microwave food when I actually put it on like a plate that I have, like a metal plate. I'm like, oh my God, this looks amazing. And it tastes really good too. 40 options across 8 dietary preferences. I love me some meats. Gotta have the meat on the menu each week. It's easy to pick meals tailored to your goals. Choose from preferences like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, or Keto. Eat smart with Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/Giants50off and use code Giants50off, all one word, to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code Giants50off at factormeals.com/Giants50off to get 50% off, 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. Bobby Skinner, you would be glad you did.
You'll be glad you did. And here's license plate guy. All right, we now welcome onto the show our good friend, Talking Giants Ring of Honor member, which we have not inducted anybody into that in a long time. Maybe this offseason is the one that we do it. Joe, license plate guy, welcome on. And I just want this to be known that you are the last episode on Talking Giants history before Eli Manning is a Hall of Famer.
That is correct. It's such an honor. We should go into the hall together now. So
Can I tell you something? I'm scared he doesn't get in Thursday night.
Oh, no, he's getting in. He's 100%. First ballot, baby.
He should be. Right? And we're gonna do our show on Friday, whether he gets in or not, about why he should be.
Are you going to go down the whole list?
Oh, yeah. We're going to talk about like where he ranks and things, like the cool. Reasons why. You know, and what... Like, and let's just get into Eli Manning talk because that makes us feel good. And in a time where not much in Giants land does make us feel good. One of the most annoying things is like, if you're saying Carson Palmer won 2 Super Bowls and he'd be in the Hall of Fame, yes. Or like, so you're telling me Joe Flacco won another Super Bowl again? And yes, if Joe Flacco did the hardest thing in football to do a second time, yeah. And had the longevity and kept his starting career alive, yeah, I think he'd probably get in. The issue is they haven't, right? And the only guys who have done stuff like this and have the cumulative numbers, all the starts in a row, like was a great player for a long time. He just played in an era where there was so many quarterbacks that he wasn't consistently top 3 to 5. There was years where he was that he gets held against him. But he did all of that. And there's no but this. This is what his career is, and I think it's a Hall of Fame worthy career.
Yeah, I don't like the comparisons to people that shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. The bottom line is, you're right. He should be in the Hall of Fame, especially with the 2 chips, with the 2 MVPs, with an undefeated record in the Pro Bowl. He's such a good coach. Just wait. But
dude, I love it. I'm invested in that. I don't mind really watching that much. I just need Eli to win the Pro Bowl every year.
That's it. He has to beat his brother, and it's so funny how you see the players are like, "Oh, and Eli just had us prepared." Did he really have you prepared?
Which is funny because Eli's just out there, and Peyton's probably actually drawing shit up, where Eli's just kind of go out there and run.
That's correct. You know what? He'd probably be that kind of coach too. He'd probably get a Patrick Mahomes type quarterback, and they'd work it out together. Be like, all right, go ahead, go do your thing, call the plays at the line.
Yeah.
But anyway, look. So what's holding him back? The 500 record, the interceptions. Seriously, because the number one comparison, guys, isn't it to the Chargers? Who got the better? Phillip Rivers or Eli Manning? It's not. I don't get where there's a comparison. Phillip Rivers is awesome. Eli Manning is a Hall of Famer. I don't get the arguments that go back and forth. Eli has the 2 chips. It's the first ballot Hall of Fame. He's going to go in on Thursday.
Yeah, if you want to make the argument for Phillip Rivers in the Hall of Fame, I'm not against that. Here's what I think is the best reasoning against him. Is that he wasn't consistently top 3 to 5 in the NFL during his career. He had years and 2 years in a row where he had it, but he didn't have a 7-year period where he was just top 3 to 5. But also that's because of those quarterbacks. And then he did the ultimate thing of winning those 2 Super Bowls, and not just winning Super Bowls, right? And that's the other thing that gets more, that defense carried him. He had the best playoff ever. That's the best playoff ever. It's unbelievable.
Still the most passing yards in a single postseason. Still.
You know what? Yeah, correct. Take the defense all you want and just add the word still.
They're playing an extra game now, Joe. They're playing an extra game now.
Without turnovers. His only interception in those 2 runs was a ball that Steve Smith popped up.
Yeah. Do they take into account the longevity or not really? Do they take into account the Iron Man or no?
They should.
Shouldn't that be part of being a Hall of Famer? Dude, you were the most counted on player on your team for years. That's got to play into it. Look,
he got beat up too.
Got destroyed, and he got up every single play. And yeah, we could talk about San Francisco all day long, but look, at the end of the day, we're complete homers as well. You can be objective or subjective with all the numbers you want. He's Eli Manning. He's probably 45 times on my wall somewhere, so he should get in, and I'm actually looking forward to how you're going to break that down, and I want to see how you break down that list.
I'm unbiased on why he should be in. I'm biased on my reaction when he doesn't get in.
All right.
If there's been other Hall of Fame snubs I didn't agree with. I didn't threaten to riot over those. I will, we'll riot over Eli Manning not getting in.
I'm ready to go up to the Hall of Fame game no matter what. And if we got to go with Pickett, signs, then we'll go with Pickett signs.
That's actually a great idea because we are thinking if Eli's in the Hall of Fame, we're going to the Hall of Fame thing. Hopefully they put the Giants in the Hall of Fame game, but regardless, we're going to go. We're going to hang out with you.
They will put the Giants in the Hall of Fame game, bro. It'd just be like Strahan's game.
But we're we got to wait until it happens to make plans. Justin, we should just make plans, and then if they don't put them in, it's a big protest.
Yeah, okay. You go up anyway, and you got Pickett signs, and it's you guys suck, and that's it.
It's not a very far drive.
No, it's not a far drive. And you better get used to it because you'll probably be sleeping in it because the hotel's already gone.
Shit.
Yeah, you could probably Airbnb it somewhere, but
no, we just had the worst Airbnb experience ever in Mobile, Alabama.
Oh, we got to go back to Airbnbs. I love Airbnbs.
I'm not telling that. We've told that. Oh, speaking of which, Justin, I forgot to do this at the beginning of the show. Guess what came home with me?
The family.
Tell me that's from the Airbnb, bro.
It is from the Airbnb. It's our friends. They ripped us off.
Wait, they're your friends or they're your friends?
Well, they're living there with. So I was thinking that this would become like
with us in spirit now.
I think this become like a traveling part of Talking Giants. Like when Danny comes down, Justin, I'll give it to him, and then he'll go to LA with him, and then he'll come back to New York, and he can give it, to you, and then you could give it to LPG at a tailgate.
Can I see the back of it real quick?
Yeah, they didn't even do it well.
Oh, so there's not even a Talking Giants sticker on it. That's terrible, Brian.
Oh, wow.
Terrible.
Yeah, gotta put that
terrible.
on.
Here we go. Let me
all right, we'll just put it on.
I'll just put it over the baby's face.
Oh my God, so good. Draw mustaches and stuff.
Yeah, what were we talking about?
We're talking about Eli Manning going into the Hall of Fame.
That was it. We got to your incest cousins over there.
Yeah, they're military. Anyways,
did you go for Strahan? And I know Parcells was somewhat recent. I think he was the Giant before Strahan, or even after. So tell me about the experience, especially when a Giant's getting in.
It's really, it's pretty cool. And don't forget, that's when Shockey ran over the that game.
Oh my God, the Texans.
So that whole weekend was awesome because the Giants got the game, which you knew you would. Strahan was incredible. It was my first time, so that was pretty cool. And again, Giants picked Jeremy Shockey, and then he went down the sideline and absolutely crushed that guy. And the whole weekend was just awesome. And when Eli gets in, you have to go. You have to go.
No, we will be there. I think it'll be one of the bigger showings of a fan base for the Hall of Fame.
I agree.
In some time,
it's not such a big stadium, so that's the problem.
Well, at least we'll be there for the festivities. We'll do all types of get-together. I'm sure there'll be all types of get-togethers.
And think about the amount of ex-Giants that will be there that weekend. Like if you're a Giants fan and you're looking for Zeke Moat, you probably be there. Not that he played for with Eli, but I mean, if you're looking for any player, that's probably where they're going to be.
Oh, yeah. This is a good question. What former player do you think will be, I think maybe besides Strahan, since he's just such a media personality, what former player do you think is or would be, if kind of given the chance, the biggest Eli Manning Hall of Fame advocate? Eli's my guy, he's my ride or die. A lot of these guys obviously will, because 2 Super Bowls that they won with him. But relationship wise, who do you think that guy is?
Are you talking that's all played with him or before him, like a Phil Simms, or I
would say played with him, and you have that relationship, you have that brotherhood.
With Eli, that's a really good question. You'd have to take the guys from the 42 or 46, right? So you go down that list of guys. I don't know. Would you take?
I feel like it's Justin Tuck.
Probably, but I think Justin's looking for something out of the blue, like an OCU manure that he fly in for that, but that's not, that's not a home run. That's not going to put you over the edge, but it would be a Strahan. He's the number one person that is not seen at a million Giant events that would probably go to bat for Eli the most. So even though you said exclude him, that's all that pops into my head. In the beginning of his career, who did he throw his first touchdown pass to?
Jeremy Shockey.
With Shockey and coming up from, you see, he just bought a $4.5 million home. I don't know what he's doing.
I did not see that. That's kind of surprising.
Shockey?
Yeah, he just bought a $4.5 million on some whatever island in Miami. Look it up. In Miami, he's about to move in. And house is freaking unbelievable. It's got palm trees. It's unbelievable. I just saw it the other day. I was like, damn, Shockey. But anyway, yeah, I'm sorry. You said exclude Strahan, but I'm going to go with Strahan. I would say the outside Giant fan base, besides his brother and, every other person he was ever around, that guy is well liked, man. How about, Coughlin.
Yeah, I think Eli has done, and I don't know if this is on purpose. It has to be, like, at least part of it. I think Eli, post-playing career, doing everything that he's done media-wise, whether it is the Eli Manning show, that's a local thing that's not nationally seen, but
Correct.
Manning Cast, being in the commercials, the Omaha productions, I think all of that has been kind of like a Hall of Fame resume builder, as I'm not just Eli Manning the player, but I'm also Eli Manning helping to grow the game of football by being out there and doing the things that I'm doing. And I think, like, call me crazy, I think that's only strengthened his Hall of Fame case, so to speak.
And the unfortunate part of this, too, is you have to kiss the media's ass, right? There's certain people that represent New York and stuff, and you, like, there's a reason why there was a certain, long-time writer who got the news that Eli was going to be working with the Giants in 2020. Like, there's a reason why for all this stuff.
Justin, that also leads to a tremendous business decision. And does that come from the Mannings themselves? Is it a meeting between Eli, Peyton, and Archie? Look, how are we going to stay, involved? Forget about Hall of Fame, which isn't here yet for you, Eli, but how are we going to stay involved after your playing days are over? How are you going to make sure that every kid still comes to the Manning camp? How are you going to make sure that our brand of Manning football stays alive? I could see Peyton going, first of all, we're doing this, because he was already in it. First of all, we're doing this Manning cast. You're in. I don't care what you say, Eli. Dad, tell him. I just see along the way them just growing and growing and growing, and going to what you said, Bobby, kissing the media's ass or not. Can you pick a better person that has handled himself in the media other than Eli Manning?
No.
I'm talking about probably number one person ever to go in and out of New York and have, no accusations, no arrests, no fights, no this, and have, even when they sat him, have an entire fan base plus that would be crying over it. He's like the number one when it comes to that. Number one.
Yeah. So I knew I was going to be Thursday night Hall of Fame or riot. Like, we have to do it. Let's get to some more fun topics. And I want to ask you this. How was it going on the road into Philadelphia week 18 for another, like, just kind of like, all right, let's put the bow on another season quite like this in the Giants 100?
And the Giants' greatest ever 100. It sucked. And knowing that you were going there for that made it even worse. I don't care. No one's going to feel bad for me. I don't want anybody to feel bad. You don't want to go, don't go to the freaking game, LPG. But don't complain about it. I don't complain about it. But I wanted to go. I wanted to keep it. I have my ticket already. I get them in April. So I'm going no matter what. It was terrible. It's everything I thought it was going to be. You sit there, you listen to a bunch of crap, and I've talked about this on your show before. I'm a little different. I sit where I sit, behind the Giants bench, and it's a little less angry. It's still angry. It's still ugly. But when you have people, in Nebraska clothes that sit up top, you're gonna get crushed.
I sat in the Eagles bench wearing that, and I'm like, I'm gonna be fine. And the first fucking thing I walk in,
you should have just wore Giants stuff.
I don't know, man. I don't know. So here's what I want to. You can continue and expand upon that, but here's the burning question that I kind of want to ask you.
Yeah.
It's February 3rd, and February 1st. It's when I get, I see it in my credit card statement. I get my first payment for my regular season tickets. Is there a part of you, Joe, it's getting harder and harder to, all right, we're going to buckle up and we're going to do a whole another year of this again? I'm not saying like complain, but now that it's like, there's a decision to make, right? Am I going to pay this or am I not going to pay this? Am I going to do this or am I not going to do this? Is the team making it any harder for you every year to continue to commit to it, or are you just, all right, I'm riding it until I can't do it no more?
No, they make it really hard, and they make it hard because of several reasons. One, the product on the field is the product on the field, and it is making it very difficult for every single fan to buy tickets to any home or away game. I'm a little bit different, Justin, because I have a group of guys, two guys actually, that buy my tickets every year. So my tickets are literally, I sell my home games. I sit front row in the end zone, and I haven't sat there in years. My two seats are the only seats in the row, which is kind of freaking cool. So it's like my two seats, three behind me, then I think it's four, then 12, because I'm like in the camera well, right next to it, right in the end zone. So I have great seats. It makes it really difficult. You're right, when you get that bill and you have to pay for it now. And I pray the guys still get it. So if, next time you ask me that question, I'd have to have those guys sitting with me, because let's say they weren't buying them. I'd have to fork that out. And don't get me wrong, now the season starts, and I have to buy a ticket to a game, or I buy from a player, or someone will give me a ticket. I'm more set for the whole season anyway before it comes to fruition.
But especially with you, it's the flights, it's the hotels, and I think that's the shit that ends up for you.
So then you talk away games, and that has become very taxing. It's very expensive. It does weigh on you. I've said this before. I book with hope in April, May. I'm done with everything, and I'm ready to rock and roll. And I pay handsomely for these tickets, and then all of a sudden I'm going to Cleveland. Cleveland, where the Giants are 1-7 versus the 2-6 Browns, and I could see that my ticket is close to a quarter of what I paid, and that makes me more angry.
Yeah.
And then I go to a loss on Sunday, and I'm already thinking, all right, get me back to the airport. I have work tomorrow because I don't really, I take my red eye, which I already booked for that, and then I'm home, doing a Talking Giants interview the next day where I'm like, yeah, I'm tired and it sucks. So yeah, it's very taxing. But what am I going to do? I did this in 2000. I told my dad, I'm like, I want to go to every game. And he's like, good. I'm not paying for it. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go. And they made it to the Super Bowl. And I was like, this is the greatest. I've always gone to one or two away games, but I went to every game. And I was like, this is the greatest freaking thing ever. I went to every game and I went to the Super Bowl. They're going to do this for the next 20 years. And they got slaughtered. Obviously, we don't talk about that Super Bowl. And I'm like, I'm going to do it again next year. And, not too far off, they won the Super Bowl. And I'm like, I'm going to keep doing this. Not too far off, they made it won another Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. And then, now I've been in Hurtsville for I can't tell you how many years. That's why it's so different for me, because I was so happy when they crushed Minnesota. Like, oh my God, I went to a playoff game and they crushed them. And meanwhile, if they didn't win, who knows where you draft, and all of these things come in. But yeah, to answer your question, it's extremely difficult. And I don't know how, next year is my 25th year, and I don't know how many I have left. I put a tweet out today, which was, I didn't mean for it to sound so morbid, but I'm like, I have more days behind me than I have in front of me. Am I going to see my team win another championship?
Dude, that's a feeling you can't let leak into your head. It's like, will I ever see a
Yeah, but it does.
I'm a Nets fan. I know that I'll never win a championship. I cannot let that thought ever get into my head as a Giants fan.
Bobby, that sucks, because I start thinking about all my teams. All of them. Whether it's a Knicks or Nets, whether it's Rangers, Devils, or Islanders, whether it's Mets or Yankees, and Giants and Jets. It's tough. I mean, maybe I'll take partial credit if Buffalo wins. I'll be like, all right, New York. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You mentioned being on the side, like by the sideline. What's the best or the worst thing you saw / heard on the Giants sideline this year?
I've been spoken to a couple of times too about be careful what you tweet from sitting from where you are.
Wonderful, wonderful.
but I hear everything. And I actually stopped tweeting a lot of, I tweet crazy, but I also stopped tweeting some of the stuff you do here, because I would get myself in trouble. Do you guys remember when I just like, I like this, I don't like that. this is cool. That's not cool. Do you remember that with Thibodeau? You guys don't remember it?
Yeah, and I think it was with Hyatt in the preseason this year too.
I got absolutely crushed because the next day Thibodeau came out and said, "Oh, I was praying." You know what? If I talk to Thibodeau tomorrow, I'd be like, I haven't seen you pray ever again. So I'm just saying. So you see a lot of shit. I see a lot of arguing, but that's what happens when your team is terrible. You're going to get that player to player, offense to defense, coach to coach, player to coach. It goes on every single game, and it's been getting worse and worse.
Wonderful. I like that line that I haven't seen you praying ever in a long time.
I mean, look, you're going to pick up his 16 whatever, and I don't know if he's going to get the one after that. I kind of like the stuff going on with Des Bryant. That was fun. But other than that, we are where we are, and let hope start kicking in after the Super Bowl.
It's like a conference championship tradition that Kayvon just starts beefing with some former player. It was Joe Staley a couple of years ago.
Oh, that's right.
Des Bryant this year. We gotta.
Yeah.
I think what happens is he gets I think conference championship. He gets together with the boys, or that's his vacation week, and has a few drinks, and then starts popping off on Twitter.
The weekend he watches football locks in.
Yeah.
That's correct. He's praying that he'd be back in the conference championship.
All right, cut it out for a second while I talk to you guys about DraftKings. Super Bowl 59 is right around the corner, and it's the perfect time to get in on the action with our partners at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Right now, they are offering all new customers $200 in bonus bets instantly after betting just $5 when you use code WORLD. Scoring touchdowns is key to hoisting the Vince Lombardi Trophy, and you have a shot to score big by betting on them at DraftKings Sportsbook, the number one place to bet touchdowns. Justin, before I finish this ad, isn't it kind of nice not having Grump around for ads so we don't have to edit them because he likes to ruin our ads?
Oh my God, it was crazy. Grump goes
He turns into the craziest person. He becomes whatever, the most controversial comic is alive. He just becomes that person when we're
throwing out
ads.
words that we got to bleep. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Only doesn't when we have to read ads.
It's crazy. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code WORLD. Bet just $5 on any wager and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's code WORLD only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. You'll be glad you did. Let's cut to the chase. Who do you want in this 2025 NFL draft in Green Bay? And are you excited to go to Green Bay for a draft?
I'm excited. I'm excited. I don't know how I'm going to be every single time the Giants make a draft pick. And, they're like, let's go, Giant fans, and it's like, I want to be like, let me see what you're going to do on the but you don't have time to say all that. But I want a quarterback, guys. You got to take the gamble. And whether it's Shedeur Sanders, which, by the way, did you see that video? How cool was that? I did that 5 years ago.
Oh, yeah, with Dion. I was like,
it was so funny. It was so funny because I had to do something for Deion Sanders. Not Deion Sanders, whatever show that was. And, it was the Giants are going to take a quarterback. And everybody was like, who was it that draft? It was probably all these top names. And I was like, the hell with them all. Shit for Shedeur. And he freaked out on it. Anyway, so if it comes to fruition, maybe I will, Justin, ride off into the sunset with that, calling my shot with Shedeur Sanders. But either Shedeur or Cam Ward, I want their name, no matter what, to be picked by the Giants. I would be ecstatic if the Giants got Abdul Carter. I would be ecstatic if the Giants got Will Johnson. I'd be even Ben Morrison. The reason why I don't bring up Travis Hunter is because I don't believe Travis Hunter is the number one cornerback in the draft, maybe two. I'm to look at top three, and I don't look at him as number one wide receiver either. So great, we picked Isaiah Simmons. So I don't really know what to make of him. Would I be ecstatic if they got him? Yeah, he's a great player. Can't wait to see how they use him. But that's not what the Giants need, guys. I'm tired of talking about the quarterback position. Go and get your freaking quarterback, okay? And if it doesn't work out, then go get another quarterback next year. And he'll get a quarterback the year after that. But it's not going to be passing up on a quarterback anymore.
I think the Giants would agree with you.
I think Joe Shane and Brian Dable would agree with me right now.
I think we're walking out of end of April, night one with the quarterback.
Even if they don't agree with you, they agree with you this year.
They definitely don't. Yeah, all right. They definitely don't agree. But I got you. How could you, honestly, guys? How could you pass it up again? And
if you think they suck.
And then okay, all right. And then you go into the
which is not fun, but it is what it is. If you think they suck, you think they suck.
If you think they suck, you know, look.
I figured out my Cam Ward Pro Comp today. You want to know what it is?
Yes, because I kind of like Cam Ward.
And it could be good or bad, because I like Cam Ward too. Sam Darnold.
Do you want to know what my Cam Ward Pro Comp is?
Yours is horrible.
Mine's horrible? You don't agree with mine?
Well, it's just scary.
No, the quarterback.
It sounds like the worst built quarterback in the lab ever.
45% Jameis Winston, 45% Drew Lock, 10% Lamar Jackson. That's what Cam Ward is. You get the 10% Lamar, and that's fun.
I like the 10%. That's fine. I like the 10%.
And if you get the right 45% of Jameis, that's good. There's no 45% of Lock that I love.
Can you guys give me that comp with Shador?
Shador, I think people are going to look for the perfect comp, and I don't know. And again, I'm watching these guys before the wedding because I'm like, we got to get a mock draft out. So like, I will have my full thoughts on both in the next 3 weeks. I think Burrow is going to be the optimistic one, and I think Andy Dalton may be the more realistic one. Because Andy Dalton lit it up in college. Do you think they kind of have similar arm talent? But, you know, both guys that aren't moving a ton. Like, that's probably the most, like, realistic one from, you know, watching him casually. And then, obviously, the really optimistic one is going to be Joe Burrow.
All right, so you guys were up close and personal. You might as well go down the other two. You might as well give me Milroe, and you might as well give me Dart.
No.
Hold on. I turned up. I got to tell you, Bobby, I also agree. He has some body prototype for a quarterback. When he bounced a 20-yard ball, I was done. Because when you're picking that high in the draft, and I know people are saying, no, not the first round. But when you're picking that high, I need 10 out of 10. I don't want 9 out of 10. I want 10 out of 10. So all right, Milroe gone. How about Dart that is rising on everybody's list, and now he's entered into the top whatever, and I'm not seeing it.
So he's not rising. His agent tweeted some of the big reporters. Every single person that was at the Senior Bowl, or at least 9 out of 10, were like, "Yeah, not a good week for him." It wasn't a good week for any of the quarterbacks, but no, I don't think he rose at all coming out of the Senior Bowl. I think Jordan Schultz had a tweet that went viral.
Let me rephrase it. You can't tell me that he hasn't risen in the eyes of social media. How's that?
Oh yes, absolutely, okay. Absolutely. But that's how it was every year.
But when you do that, win the crowd, win your freedom. So you can't tell me that that's not rising. It is. You might have smarter football sense than the next person, and hopefully people do, to realize that it is a smokescreen, and that's what you get around this time. But I just want to know what you saw out of that, because what I saw, I'm sorry, I didn't see it. Now that brings me to
Senior Bowl. There's always a begging for somebody to come. Like Malik Willis actually had a pretty damn good Senior Bowl, and there was talks of him going top 10 coming out of there. And then obviously that never came into fruition.
Giant fans immediately think of Daniel Jones.
Yeah. So and Senior Bowl can do you well. I just don't think it did anybody there that well. I think Michael Penix had the Senior Bowl did him well last year, in the whole process. But here's the reality, Joe. You mentioned Shador Sanders, Cam Ward. I'm pretty confident that one of those guys will be the Giants quarterback.
Agreed.
Come training camp. I'm pretty confident that's one of those guys, whether people like it or not. I'm pretty confident we're gonna have one of those quarterbacks. Which, even if like I said, if we come out of this 3 weeks later and our full evals and hey, I don't like him, it's still exciting. Like the opportunity, because like quarterback's hard to get right? We get it wrong. Usually we get it wrong as on the part of liking them and they don't work out. It's not as much.
Which is complete fandom.
Yeah, there's not as many cases of like, oh, I didn't like him and he turned out great when we talk about getting quarterbacks wrong. But it's still exciting. Like a young rookie quarterback is always exciting because you may have the future that holds Super Bowl champions at your plate, whether you like their arm talent or their ability to move or just their mind, the way they see the game. It's exciting, and I don't care who they draft. I'm going to be fucking pumped up for week one. And I think that's what they sold John Mayer on, is the fact that, here we go. Quarterback. Let us take our shot.
Yeah.
Do you think that'll really reignite the fan base heading into the year?
No. I think the negativity, as soon as one of these guys is taken, social media is going to blow up on both ends. You know that. 50-50. Oh, he sucks. I watched him all year in college. No, you didn't. And you didn't even like college football. I love those people. Unite. I think the Giant fans are out.
Oh no, I don't mean unite. Because nobody will unite. Arch Manning will unite the fan base. Reignite is the word I want to use.
Look, I'm being totally honest when I say this. You don't think May, June, July does that already? Right? Isn't that when you form hope? Isn't that when you guys are sitting in the freaking top row and you're looking out like, oh, so-and-so's unguardable. So-and-so made every catch. Tommy DeVito looked the best at all the deep balls. Like, this is the time that hope comes in. So reignite, I think when the sun comes out, the fan base reignites no matter what. Would it be nice with a shiny new toy like Shador or Cam? Yeah, it's going to mean a little more something this year. I mean, whoever it is, they are going to literally sweep the crowd off his feet before they ever even touch the field. There'll be 40 million jerseys sold. It will be. So, you know what? I'm 100% saying yes, Justin. When that person comes in, let's just say Shador, the worst kept secret, I guess, in what's going on.
Yeah.
I think they do absolutely love him, and I think there'll be every Shador shirt known to man day one of training camp.
Yeah.
His smile, his energy. I just hope it's projected on the field.
I agree. I'm tweeting out that the Jaguars have requested to interview Giants assistant GM Brandon Brown for their GM job per Schultz report.
Oh, wow.
All right.
So maybe get some comp picks soon. Yeah, so I think we all agree that they're going to get a quarterback. It's going to be exciting. If it fails, it's going to be miserable. If it's even slightly average, it'll be exciting. And if it's above average, it's going to be the most exciting shit in the fucking world. And I'm excited I'm excited to feel something. How about that?
I mean, that's right. I mean, all we did was Daniel Jones, and then you're like, wait, what? And then when you want to like him, it's like, oh, but you didn't like him at the draft, and now he's good. You see what he did in Tampa versus Tampa Bay, and then the rest is history. I just feel like the Giants just waited, and then now we're here, and it's a bad position to be in.
Yeah.
And now we're here, and this Sunday a football game is being played. Longtime Giant playing in that game, Joe. How is it going to feel watching Nick Gates finally get his opportunity to play in the Super Bowl?
I hope that he is on the active roster, and that's all I care about. You know what? I somebody asked me, are you happy to see Saquon Barkley win a ring? And I said, I am very happy for Saquon Barkley to be in the Super Bowl. I am. He is an Eagle, and I am a Giants fan. And if he was my brother, he was my uncle, he was my next door neighbor, he'll be long gone wearing some gold jacket somewhere, and I'll still be rooting against the Eagles, and they'll have another ring for it? Absolutely not. I don't want them to win. I hope he gains 350 yards in in a terrible loss. And I don't care. It should be that way. And there's no way you could sit here and root like Brandon Jacobs for Saquon to get a ring. I had that argument with him.
Oh yeah, I think Brandon likes to troll a little bit too.
He does, but he's dead on. I mean, they have a really good relationship, and they met at the softball game, by the way. So they have a really good relationship. And when Brandon tweeted a "Fly Eagles Fly," and he immediately changed it to "Fly Saquon Fly," I was like, all right, I could deal with that.
He's been tweeting a little bit more. Is he bored? Like, what's he doing?
Podcast, bro. Brandon
Jacobs has a podcast?
He does, Justin. He does.
He needs to have us on. What the hell?
Yeah, what are we doing? What's it called? I want to go check. Did he
wants to bump in numbers. Have us three on. Just let us kind of take over the show for one episode.
Actually, Justin, go to his Instagram. They're doing something in New Orleans.
I'm going to be
Justin's
there.
going to be there. You're going to be there too, right? You usually go, right?
I do. I went to the last Eagle Super Bowl. I didn't go to the game because I couldn't do it, and I'm still not going to do it. I can't. I'm not going. I'm not going inside. It's bad enough being there week 18. It's to be the same thing.
Dude, I hate to go. I want to go backwards a bit.
Yeah.
At the softball game.
Justin, it's on there somewhere, Justin.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Eventbrite right now.
Yeah.
At the softball game, Brandon Jacobs' son was there.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to do like the 2028 O-line draft preview and to be like, we've been waiting for this one for 10 years, guys. It's Brandon Jacobs out of Clemson or whatever school he ends up transferring to because they all transfer 20 times now.
Got to get $10 million, go somewhere else. I babysat for that kid.
And then he's gonna be our right tackle next to Andrew Thomas. It's gonna be like a passing Lagarde. He's gonna do 1 year of right tackle and then transition to left tackle as Andrew Thomas. It's gonna be a whole story. I'm excited for it. He will be talking Giants Ring of Honor member. I'm very, very excited for it.
He's an absolute monster, and you know how big Brandon is, and Brandon is tiny next to him.
Yes, I mean the picture next to Andrew Thomas is one of my favorites.
Yeah, I know it is. I know it is.
He just towers over Andrew Thomas, but
dude, he was like 2 years old, and Brandon, he was like feeding him like lamb chops, like right off the bone. Awesome. It was amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. Really good people. The whole family. It's just like, and then his brother Quinn, I think he's a running back. He's going to be a monster. He's going to be really good. He's the better athlete.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
How old is he?
Quinn, I don't know. 15,
he's already been offered by Kentucky. I'm looking at his Instagram right now.
Dude, I'm telling you, he is going to be. He's the better athlete. But I mean, it's not difficult when you're looking at a 350-pound monster offensive lineman to say the other guy is a better athlete. I mean, but Quinn's going to be a monster as well.
Wearing number 26 too. I like that.
Yeah.
But all right, Justin, you got anything else?
Who's winning the game?
We have to check out the Facts Over Feelings podcast. The Chiefs are winning this game. I sure freaking hope so, man.
That from your heart, or do you really think they're going to beat them?
I'm saying this for my own mental sanity. We need one good thing to happen to us this football season.
I want Saquon to have a bad game. I want the announcers to be being like, "How could the Giants not pass on this guy?" Like that's what I want. I want everything turned.
That's funny, but not going to happen.
I need. This is why you don't pay a running back takes after this game. It's been too tough.
And then today there was some tweet about some IG about whatever about Saquon would be the 17th paid wide receiver with what he's making. Okay, so he's not a wide receiver. And I don't know if you saw that today. It was like so dumb.
No. I mean, I'm not going to bring up the fact that the Giants running backs had more rushing yards this year than last year. I'm not going to bring that up. But it is what it is.
Look, the Eagles were built to win. The Giants are not built to win right now. Saquon would have helped in one or two more victories. He would have had over 1,000 yards. Hopefully, he would have stayed healthy, and the Giants would be picking 8th or 9th. So that's it. There's really not much to talk about that. That's what would have happened. So I don't know.
And people would have got mad that we were picking 8th or 9th.
And they would have done the picket signs. That's correct.
You know what? They should be mad. They should be mad until we're picking 25th and 26th and 30th and 32nd. Then we could be all mad to then. Joe,
the worst part about it is you wind up getting a better pick up there.
Yeah. Hey, how do those teams stay so good without all those top 10 draft picks? It's crazy how good teams stay good.
Exactly.
Joe, I'm sure we'll talk soon. Appreciate you jumping on, and that's an interview.
Yeah, love you guys, man. Appreciate it. Keep rocking out.
All right, thanks again, License Plate Guy. I know License Plate Guy comes on all the time, and it's become common practice now, but I remember having him on for the show for the first time and how excited we are. So go let License Plate Guy know that you enjoy listening to him on the show. He'll enjoy that. He's our guy. So it's it's nice to have someone that is like, hey, you want to come on the show? Yes. And you don't have to do a ton of prep. It's just like, nope, let's just talk and have a good time. So I always appreciate LPG coming on.
I will also always appreciate License Plate Guy for coming on. You know what? It is really tough to hear him sometimes be like, you know what? Like, we are going to be optimistic and we are going to buy into whatever the Giants do by the time that August and September rolls around. But out of all people to be so, I don't know what the word is, but so like neutral on where the team is at, and this is License Plate Guy. He is the Giants superfan, and to hear him so despondent, I guess it's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, and that's just like a kind of a new place for Giants fans right now. Where it's just like it's a bad spot. But if they do get a quarterback and that quarterback ends up being good, then we're all excited and life is good. Couldn't be us. So, all right. So next episode, we'll do like kind of an Eli Manning Hall of Fame, whether it gets in or not special, making the case for and against. Maybe it's not even the longest episode in the world, but so we will go through all that. It feels like just yesterday, Justin, we had people voicemailing in saying, their thank yous to Eli as we did the retirement episode.
That was a good episode.
It was a great episode. I hope to ever have that feeling with some other player ever again. Probably not. That's an episode. We'll be back on Friday for that. We'll see you then. Until then, let's go Big Blue.